Okay, we're going to do our first initial section of a another case study analysis, sometimes called a situation analysis or a size up. You're sizing up the situation, you're sizing up the conditions of this case. For this case, for my classes, I want you to have approximately 250 to 300 word situation analysis. I want only key facts and key points identified. So what is a key fact or a key point? I'm looking at the name of the firm, the title of the key players. I'm looking at the key decision makers in this case. I'm looking at if it is the industry, the kind of market, the size of the organization, the kind of product or the customer base. And you can do that easily within the first couple of sentences in a paragraph, very quickly. You're going to basically summarize the data that you're reading, summarize the key points that are in that case. You're going to make some critical inferences that I've mentioned. And again, remember, inferences are not opinion. Inferences are basically it's deductive reasoning. A equals B, B equals C, therefore A equals C. So when you say something like, in this instance, we have a harassing environment, that would be A. The harassing environment is leading to stress. That's our point B. When you have people that are stressed, which is point B, that can lead to people being high absenteeism and or leaving the organization. That would be C. So therefore, we can make the inference that a stressful, harassing environment can lead to high absenteeism and or people leaving the organization. So attrition, people leaving. So that can be very expensive. When people leave your organization or people are absent, they're not being productive, that's expensive. So that's not your opinion. That is what we call an inference. Those things are certainly allowed in your situation analysis and size up. I want you to size up or identify the symptoms. What are some of the symptoms that are taking place that you're identifying in your situation? And if there is a vision statement, you're more than welcome to put that in as well. All right, so that is your size up situation analysis. That's worth 8 points in terms of my assessment, and that basically sets the tone. Immediately following your size up or your situation analysis, I want you to put in assumptions. Again, this is all part of that first section. In your assumptions, whatever is not stated in the case, and yet your grouper is making assumptions about it, that's where you put it. Immediately after, in a separate section, you put it immediately after your situation analysis and size up. You can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 assumptions. You can say things like, we are assuming this is a unionized workplace, and that might be important because you're going to be making some comments later on in your analysis, making the assumption that there's a collective agreement, people are working to a rule or whatever. Or maybe you're making the assumption that there's an HR department when in fact it's never ever really stated in the case, but you're making the assumption that there is. Or maybe you're making the assumption that there is some sort of a job description or job analysis that has been done. These are all things that you put in your assumptions. I go back to your assumptions when I read something in your analysis that was never ever stated in the case. As long as you put in your assumptions, you can talk about it. But if it's not in the case, and it's not in your assumptions, there lies a gap, and I'll comment on it. Okay? So, once again, that is section 5.1, or page 4 of the guidelines to writing a case study analysis. And that's the very first part that you have to work on for your report. All right? So if you can do that, once again, that's worth 8 points. That's how I'll be evaluating it. And again, go back to the Bendix sample case and you'll actually see how they wrote their case study situation analysis and size up and even used assumptions. Okay, thanks.